All right. I'm Aaron.
I'm Diego. Nathan.
Javier.
Officer Baraka. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too. So we just have a couple questions about our symposium project, and should I come here to ask you? Here's one. I'll let you know. The impact on student well-being. How do you think of Trump's immigration policies, such as increased deportations, family separations, affected the emotional and psychological well-being of students from immigrant families in SoCal schools?
That's a good question. My personal opinion is that, obviously, if you're here, I mean, I think it's hard to separate kids that are already here.
Yeah, it's
Families made it in illegally.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one thing for them. But when you have a child your age or even younger that's here and has gone through the school systems, I don't know how you can actually take them and make them move out and kick them out of the system, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think once they're here like that and they've gotten an education, I think we as a state or country I think we should give them the opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Challenges in the classroom. What specific challenges did teachers and educators face in SoCal schools when dealing with students who were directly or indirectly affected by Trump's immigration policies? And how did they adapt to these challenges, do you think? How would they?
I don't know how they would adapt. It'd be a little bit harder, but I think if they've been here, you have teachers who, the students are here, and obviously the big concern is, am I going to be deported?
Yeah.
So if they've got that on their mind all the time, how are they going to ever be able to concentrate on what they're doing?
Yeah.
Every day they come to school and they think, okay, this will be my last day. Is somebody going to come here? Are my parents going to still be here when I get home, or am I going to be deported?
Yeah.
So I think it's a big challenge for teachers to be able to still teach, but they obviously probably don't know students that are here illegally and that are affected unless the students have actually said something to them.
Yeah, and I could see how it would affect them in the classroom too. It would see them acting out and causing trouble in the school. I could see
Easily. I mean, that's a lot on their mind, you know. I mean, how do they concentrate on just their schoolwork when that's in the back of their mind?
Yeah, I mean, that's any person, you know. I mean, if it was you in that situation, I guarantee you.
Could be anybody,
It'd be
exactly.
anyways.
Not
Yeah.
just immigrants.
That sucks that they have to deal with that too, honestly. I mean, I feel like America was built on immigrants. We wouldn't have a lot of the things we have in America without immigrants.
That's true.
We wouldn't have a lot of the culture. So, I mean, I don't agree with some of the things that he's doing, but
Yeah, and that's the good thing about being here is everybody has a right to their opinion.
yeah, that's true.
You know.
And I'm glad that we don't get penalized for that too.
Exactly. Well, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Community engagement and support. How did SoCal schools and local communities respond to the needs of immigrant students and families affected by Trump policies? And what types of support systems were put in place for them to help them cope?
I can't say what's happening here because it doesn't usually happen out in our area. But as far as what I'm reading and listening to is that there are a lot of schools that are not enforcing any of this. So they're trying to help the students by telling them, hey, come to school, get your education. We are not going to be the person who turns you away to, you know, keep you from getting an education.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the schools are doing that in order to try and keep kids on the right track.
Yeah, but it can only go so far. I feel like it's kind of hard if they're always worried about other things too.
Oh, without doubt. I mean, everybody has certain things that they deal with in life, and that's the biggest thing for them. Obviously, is immigration. Am I gonna lose my status here? That's got to be.
You lose everything.
I mean, I can't say how that feels because none of us are in that position, right? So.
I'm with him.
Oh, had to go there.
I'm sorry.
You out.
Actually, stay here. We got something for you. Long-term consequences. What do you think are the long-term consequences of Trump's immigration policies on the education? And let me re-ask that question. Long-term consequences. What do you think are the long-term consequences of Trump's immigration policies on the educational outcomes and opportunities of immigrant students in SoCal schools? And how are the educators and policymakers working to mitigate these effects?
Well, I think the same thing goes. Just like anything, the schools are trying to adapt to help the kids out. As far as what's going to happen, I think his policies are his policies, obviously, and we don't all have to agree or disagree. It's whatever it is. But I think as far as the kids, having a chance to do something, I think they need to be able to come to school, get an education, and hopefully, maybe if they are here illegally, maybe they go through the system and they are now able to somehow legally get here without you know,
Yeah.
hey, let's send them back
Mhm.
and then make them come through it. They're
Yeah.
already here, so why don't we make things where we can streamline it a little better and make it
Yeah.
easier for them.
Like who's here is here, and if the family's here, like,
Right. I have no problems with Border Patrol doing their job.
It's their job.
But if you're already here and you're doing the right thing, you're not a criminal, you're not causing issues, then why don't we make it easier for people to be here? Because that's what it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
America's supposed to be free for the country, everybody to come to this country and succeed.
I agree with that. Thank you. Those are my questions, and
Okay.
they will have theirs.
Okay,
So, what is your opinion on our border security? Do we have to add more, or just give me your thoughts on our border security?
I don't know if we need to add more. I think you just need to let them do their job. If you know, there's plenty of them out there. I mean, obviously, the more people you have out there, the better it is. But I think if you just let people do their job and give them the right tools to do the job, I think we'll be fine. I don't think we need to add a lot more border patrol, just because so we can keep more people out. They probably have enough already. We just haven't had them in the right places.
Okay. And my second question are, what are the most common crimes locally related to immigrants that either you have experience or that you know of?
I don't actually locally here. I have not seen any of those. So really, all I would be able to tell you is if you read the papers and watch the news, it's whatever they're telling you about. Because we pretty much here, as far as the city of Covina, our office, I don't believe we've had any issues with immigrants committing crimes.
I'm gonna just join in on that real quick. A lot of the problems, they're not around here. My Nino, he is a Azusa PD. He's a detective now, and when he was a cop, he would deal with a lot of like drug addicts, and drugs is common to immigrants when they get here. It's just something that they do. Because they're struggling with things. It's just
Who are you related to?
His name is Brad Gomez. He's a Azusa PD. He was a SWAT. Now he's a detective. So, yeah. Go ahead.
I have 2 questions. I'll keep it short.
Yeah, no problem.
Have you noticed any economic changes in our area that could be linked to a border security?
No, in our area, absolutely not.
And my second question is, has our community experienced any financial burdens due to immigration?
This community here, I would say no. Our city is pretty solvent. They've got a good base. Money-wise, I think they're doing fine, but I don't think there's been any change in immigrants coming here and hurting the city at all.
Thank you.
Alright, next. I just got 2 questions for you. I have, how does your department, the Covina PD, work with federal immigration authorities to address border-related issues?
I don't think we have anything specific that we're working with them on. I don't believe we are involved with ICE. Like if we get somebody here, are we going to turn them over? That's not. I don't think that's in our policy right this time.
Okay. My next question would be, how does the local police department engage with immigrant communities to ensure safety and trust with them?
Our local, I don't think we treat immigrant residents any different than we do anybody else.
Okay.
If we have a job to do, whether or not you live in this area and there's a lot of immigrants in there, our philosophy is everybody gets treated the same way. There's local laws, that we have to enforce, and we're going to enforce them on whether it's you, me, or somebody who might be an immigrant. If they're breaking the law, I think they're going to get the same punishment as anybody else would.
Okay. That's all for me.
Alright, I'm next. Just got 2 questions for you. Has border security policies affected trust between the police and immigrant community?
Personally, I couldn't say that they have with me, but if you, in watching, reading and listening to things, I'm sure that there's probably a lot of distrust in Border Patrol, in law enforcement in general. There's a lot of distrust because all you really hear about is when law enforcement does something wrong, those are things that get pushed out there, and it's the same thing with Border Patrol.
My next question is, do you see any differences in how border security policies affect urban versus rural areas?
Well, obviously, if you're in the city like this, it's not going to affect us as much. So, but if you're out, and borders and things, then I'm sure it's different there. But everything in here, I think, stays the same status quo. I don't think there's any changes.
That's it for all of us.
That
That's it.
sums it all up.
Thank you.